Hey everyone, it's Andy here, and just want to give another update on the ongoing tax refund delays many taxpayers are facing right now. It's been many more weeks than the usual 21 days that the IRS promises to process tax returns, and I know it's been very frustrating for a lot of my readers who are really desperate for their tax refund money. Unfortunately, even trying to get through to someone at the IRS has been proving to be impossible. And as you'll see, I'll talk about some of the challenges here and why it's so hard to get in touch with someone. As always, if you like what you hear here, please hit the like button down there and subscribe to keep getting more videos with updated information on taxes, stimulus, and other finance topics. So, the Washington Post recently published an article, and I'll put links in the description below to all these articles. But the IRS is so backlogged right now and has seen such a surge in calls, 300% in some cases to its toll free lines, and has many of them. And I have various numbers that I'll share below. But they've seen a 300% increase in calls. And part of this is due to the delays. This season's been complicated with all the new stimulus bills being paid out, plus some new legislation. So it's been a tough season for the IRS trying to pay out almost 200 million stimulus checks or economic impact payments as they're known. And the IRS has been shrinking. So because of all these factors, the extra work and the lower staff, plus we have a pandemic still going on, so a lot of people are remote and not working 100%. The IRS employees are really answering about 2% of the 70 million taxpayer calls that have been coming through as of mid-April. And this is kind of scary, 2%. It's hard enough to get through to someone, and I've got some tips and techniques here that I've discussed, and you can see many of the other videos on this. But this small fraction means that a lot of people who do need to speak to a live person to progress their tax return because the Get My Payment tool doesn't have an update for them are stuck. And I know the story of people trying multiple times. There's even services out there that will keep calling the IRS, but it's really hard. And unless you can get through to a live agent, sometimes it's very hard to move your issue. And the online systems, the Where's My Status tool, the IRS To Go app has not been that great. And even when you get through, you got to spend 20 minutes trying to get through to someone and then longer. I've heard people spend, up to 2 hours. And then even if you get through to someone, that person may not be able to help because the tax return hasn't been loaded. So a lot of people are just giving up and hanging up. So it's frustrating for most. I realize that. And all I'll say is stay persistent. So why is it taking so long to get some of these refunds this year? Well, it is taking 6 to 8 weeks. This was from the USA Today, and 21 days or 3 weeks is a normal thing. It's definitely exceeded that for a lot of people. Again, and I'm simplifying this. Most people, when they submit it through their tax provider package, TurboTax, HR Block, whatever it is, it normally processes, and a lot of people see it in a few days. If it's a pretty standard return, it should take a few days, and it's all automated. It goes to the IRS, their systems checks if it looks normal for the parameters based on the filing status, the income, previous history. It normally processes the refund, and within a few days, it hits bank accounts. It's actually normally very seamless. But what's happening now is if there is a flag raised or there's something wrong with the tax refund, the IRS has to flag it and has to potentially go for more system checks or even more manual checks. And that's what really adds the extra weeks on, is that extra processing. Not because you've done anything wrong with your return. It's just that the IRS, something's flagged it and now they have to do a manual check. A lot of times it's because people have claimed the earned income tax credit or the child tax credit, or they were looking for their recovery rebates, or the dependents were not correct. But even then, in the past years, it still allowed things to move pretty quickly. And you can normally talk to a live agent if your WMR tool is showing that your status is pending or you get a tax code that you don't understand. But now it's taking 6 to 8 weeks because of all the reasons I previously talked about. It just seems to be dragging on. And I know some people are almost 3 months into it, especially people who filed early. They thought they'd get their refunds early. Unfortunately, that's not been the case. And even the Taxpayer Advocate Service, which does a lot of the processing for a lot of the sort of support advocacy for taxpayers, as part of the IRS, separate to them. But they've actually also come out with a recent statement saying that they acknowledge that the refunds have been delayed. No one's questioning that, neither is the IRS. But that also their ability to help with delayed refunds is limited. And this is because most of the refunds and the processing is because the IRS has not even loaded this. So even especially if you sent it manually or those issues, it's in suspense status, awaiting some IRS action. So if you're, and there's almost 6 to 7 million tax filers stuck in this status, and it's because the IRS has to wait to process this. They're getting so many returns right now, especially with the extended tax season. And then they're also dealing with a lot of unprocessed returns from the prior year that was also extended. So a combination of all these factors has really caused all these delays to happen. And then, of course, old technology and lack of people is just making this worse. And then, of course, like I mentioned before, the stimulus checks or the recovery rebate credits for people claiming them through their tax return has added more steps, as that could require a lot of manual verification given there have been multiple rounds of stimulus checks. But my point of this whole video is really to show to you that you're not alone. There's a lot of people happening. People are aware of the issues, governments are aware of the issues, a lot of pressure on the IRS, but there is a delay. And all I can say is stay patient, stay persistent. I've put some more useful articles to help you with potentially trying to get through the IRS, some quicker ways. Definitely check out the comment forums on this video and previous ones that have people of how they got their tax refund paid. And I hope that this is resolved pretty soon. Again, do me a favor, if this helped you or at least made you feel a little bit better, hit the like button and subscribe to get my more updates as I find more information on this. Thanks.